بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله حمدا كثيرا طيبا مباركا فيه كما يحب ربنا ويرضاه. إخوتي في الله، عندي سؤال من صاحبه. I have a question, who's going to answer it. يقول الله سبحانه وتعالى: ومن الناس من يشتري لهو الحديث يضل الناس يضل عن سبيل الله بغير علم ويتخذها هزوا أولئك في عذاب مهين. So from amongst people, man yashtari, those who buy, lahwal hadith. Hadith speech, that's just entertainment. Lahwal hadith. Yudilla an sabilillah, to stray people away from the path of Allah. Bighayri ilm, and they don't even recognize it, don't even know it. وَيَتَّخِذَهَا أي يَتَّخِذَ آيَاتِ اللَّهِ سَبِيلِ هُزُوًا, as if it's a joke. أُولَٰئِكَ لَهُمْ عَذَابٌ مُهِينٌ, they have a humiliating punishment. ما هو لهو الحديث؟ الغاني ما شاء والموسيقى. نعم. المعازف. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi is singing and playing musical instruments. And Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam harrama al-ma'azif. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he prohibited musical instruments. Wa adina lid-duf lin-nisa. Ad-duf, that's for the women. It has to be hollow on one end. It can't be a trouble on both sides. It can't be on both sides. And it can't be deep. It can't be like a big drum. The duff is like this small. It can't be big and long because it has a great bass. لماذا حرم المعازف? Why did the Prophet make ma'azif not permissible? Right. It harms the eardrums. What's the matter? Man, you fear al-shahwa wal-mashaa'ir. It affects you emotionally. نعم. يأثر على المشاعر. نعم. It affects you emotionally. نعم. وأجاز للنساء عند الأفراح. It's permissible for the woman to play a duff عند الأفراح. يعني, and not just weddings, in all times that it's happy times. نعم. Like weddings. نعم. What does it mean an yashtari, that they buy lahwa al-hadith? What does this mean, yashtari? What happens? Ishtari means to buy. نعم. What happens when you buy something? What happens when you buy something? Is you exchange something, right? You exchange. So what are you exchanging when you listen to music? Al-waqt? La. What are you trading? Na'am. What's the tayyib? What are you giving up? Na'am, ya Ibrahim. Now, you might not be in the words of Allah. You might not. It's not like you was reading Quran and you stopped reading Quran to listen to music. You probably wasn't reading Quran. What are you giving up? ماذا تختار على العقل صحة العقل. نعم. Your sound reasoning والcontentment والقناعة. نعم. Music is a false sense of whatever you want to attach to it. A false sense of bravery. I'll do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do this, I'm not that. Or false sense of love. I love you, you're the only thing that I know. Or false sense of freedom. We are the black man, we are on top. Or false sense of, Ya Habib. You understand that? Naam. And music is a false sense of whatever you attach it to. Ya Ali, so you have your aql, you know how free you are, or how strong you really are. Like how many people they write about how strong they are and how much money they have. They don't got no money. How strong they are? Coward. Can't do anything. How much women he has? Got no one. How many partners and friends he has? Lonely guy. Ain't got nothing. But when he's saying that, he feels like, man, he's on top of the world. Nuh-uh. And the same thing with the love songs. And the same thing with that. And they're all living in the dream. They took their akal, they took their intelligence and their intellect and everything, they put it down and they put this in their head. He said, just leave me with this here. Just leave me feeling good. Nuh-uh. Just leave me feeling good. Tayyib. فَمَنْ كَانَ عِنْدَهُ عِرْسٌ, whoever has a wedding, لَا تَعْزَمْ الشَّيْطَانِ إِلَى عِرْسِكَ. Don't invite shaitan to your wedding when you get married. Don't do that. Allah that blessed you. You didn't have a wife. Nuh-uh. You didn't have the money to get married. You gathered up the money to get married. MashaAllah, you taqaddam, you propose. You waiting for your answer. You waiting for your answer. They said yes. MashaAllah alayk. Qabilu khitbatak. They accepted your proposal. Now you get close to the wedding. Now you have the wedding. Here you go. You're not thankful. You invite shaitan into your wedding with ma'azif and a ghani or that folder. Shameful thing. That's shameful. So you see the people when they get married, I should have said alhamdulillah. You have farah, you have farah, you have joy with what? With your friends, your family, the people that you know, everybody that you love, they love you. No, they're going all the way over to Detroit, all the way to the west side. These people don't even know you. They don't even be farah. They're not happy when you have. They don't even know you. But everybody got to know Abdul Hakim got married today. Everybody got to know. I choose to watch it. What is your wedding? Why is it so big? Thank Allah that you got married. Have your fun with the people who love you, the people who respect you. I'm not going over here to the kufa over here. I'm going over there, running over there, running over here. Bam, 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 bam. هذا فرح صحيح. أنا أسألك هل هذا فرح صحيح? Is that really enjoying yourself? No, هذا ما هو فرح. وإياكم. أنا أريد الواحد يتزوج, somebody get married and he put his foot down. Listen, hold on. Ain't gonna be no music. Ain't gonna be no pictures. I don't want that in my wedding. My wedding, no music. I'm not even try. I don't want to hear nothing. ما في أغاني ولا تصوير ولا كذا. أنت البطل. أنت. It's your wedding. Okay, you're gonna just be sacking. You're not gonna do that. Everybody going, oh, do this and do that and have that and do this and do that. Barakatak ya akhi. You want this wedding to go long. You're gonna have children. You're gonna have ups and downs. You're gonna go back. Baraka min awwal yawm. أسس على التقوى من أول يوم. It was established upon taqwa from the first day. Na'am, that's how you want it. Al-baraka min Allah. Barakallahu feekum. So somebody speak up in every house. Don't do that. Don't have that music. Ya fulan, khayran lak. Hey, don't do that. Somebody from the women's side. The women have to advise. Ya ukhti, I'm sautuk. Ya ukhti al-Islam, ayna anti. Where the women? Where the voices at? They don't say nothing. Oh, yeah, Ibn. My dear son, don't do that. Don't play no music. Where the dads? Where the ajdad? Where the grandfathers? Ma'adukum kalima? Y'all don't have nothing to say. Everybody has a role to play. Listen, no music. Listen, Matthew Tasweer. Don't take no pictures. Don't do that. Don't be taking no pictures of your wife. Abe, shameful thing. Don't do that. Everybody speak up, say something. So we can get back to the sunnah. Let it fiha baraka. The ones that the marriage they last. The marriages are breaking up, they're getting divorced. It's no baraka. Marriages, they don't last these days. Imagine that. I do not, but mutazawwij 70 sana. Mutazawwij 70 sana. They've been married 70 years. They've been married 50 years. Naam ya Aba Muhammad. ايش البديل؟ السنه هو البديل والتوبه البديل. هذا هو البديل. البديل هو الفطره. That's the بديل. Like you said, what's the substitute if we don't have a ghani? يا سبحان الله. ايش البديل؟ Yeah, we're going to be at صحة الله. هذا الذي يشرب الخمر هو يقول ايش البديل? What's the بديل if you want to stop drinking? You're going to have your brain back. And the one who's drinking cigarettes, he said, what's the بديل? He has to have chewing gum. You're going to stop cigarettes. عفوا يا أبا معلم. عفوا ما أسمعك. نعم. هذا أدف للنساء. عندهم الناشيد طيب ما شاء الله. فرح البرع. والله لقد كنت في اليمن من فرح. أقسم بالله. I swear by Allah. I went to a wedding in Hadramaut. أقسم بالله. I swear by Allah. There was so much farah. There was so much joy. I wanted to take some and put it inside of me to the day that I needed. Like I said, there come. I done gathered up so much joy from that day and stocked it out. It was joy. But back in the family, was handing out the food. They was giving حياك الله ارحب. الناس كانوا هاب. عمل برع. ايش من فرح. ايش من عزة. You have somebody sitting down, he's getting married. وأصحابه, they have their جنبيات. And البرع ايش من شرف. اليمنيون, when they do البرع, their knees come up high. It looks like they're fighting. Everybody else, I was with a friend of mine from Jazair. We're like that. When we dance, we shake our hips and our shoulders left and right. اليمنيون ما يفعلون هذا. They don't shake left and right. لا يحرك هكذا. Man, their knees are coming up. You think like he was fighting. ايش من عزة. والله أنا ما رأيت مثله. I have not seen the likes of it. صحيح. نعم. فرح. If you understand the words that they're saying in Nasheed, mashallah, and they start walking with the earth and they're walking through their neighborhood, mashallah, and they're walking with him, and he's decked out and he's with his ashab, he's with his friends. يا أبا مروان يا عم عبد الله أليس كذلك؟ نعم. يا من يؤسس لنا السنة? Who's going to establish for the sunnah here in Hamtramck? نعم. I'm that honk. بانك
ويشتروه فلوس معقولة.
ايشو؟
يشتروه المغني يجي. يشتروه شراء.
هاي السنجر يأتي يعني يدفع ما حتى يحضر شيطان. So shaitan can come to the wedding. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. نأخذ من كتابنا صفة النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. We're in the bab of the clothes of the Prophet. والنبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال من سن في الإسلام سنة حسنة فله أجره وأجر من عمل بها بدون أن ينقص من أجورهم شيئا كما قال صلى الله عليه وسلم. Whoever establishes in Islam a sunnah. Establish a sunnah, بمعنى يجدد a sunnah. You know, he's establishing something that was forgotten about, something that was left off. نعم. وللشيخ مقبل رحمه الله تعالى عدة من السنن يعني أسسها وجددها, that he renewed it. نعم. عليه رحمة الله. طيب يا إخوة. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we studied and we went over the clothing that he used to wear. هو السنة. هذا ملابس طيبة. نعم. نقرأ اليوم والسؤال عندكم. أيضا البردين قطريتين. وإيش قلنا في البردة القطرية؟ إيش نعرف عنه؟ أنه غليظ. That is heavy. It's a special gumas. It's a special. عندما يقول قطريتين, it's talking about the kind of material. وهو من ذاك that country that they call Qatar today. It came from that area. وهو غليظ. قالت عائشة رضي الله عنها this hadith is عند أبي داود كان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم عفوا كان على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم بردان قطريان and he has on the izar and he has on the rida. نعم قطريان he has one on the bottom and on the top. نعم كان إذا جلس فعرق فيهما ثقل عليه. It was a heavy material, so if he sat, he would sweat in it, and it became heavy on him. لقلة الثياب, and they didn't have a lot of clothing. نعم صلى الله عليه وسلم وأصحابه رضي الله عنهم. فقدم لفلان اليهودي بز من الشام. So somebody in Medina, a Jew, some clothing and material came from Sham, from the area of Syria. Some clothing came. Some material. فقلت, Aisha said, I said to him, لا أرسلت إليه فاشتريت منه ثيابين إلى الميسرة. She said, why don't you send to this Yehudi guy and buy from him 2 pieces of clothing? إلى الميسرة. ما معنى إلى الميسرة? Yeah, he's gonna buy it on debt. He's gonna buy it on credit. He doesn't have the money. So he's gonna send somebody to speak on his behalf. If he could get 2 pieces of garment because they're thinner than this one. This one makes them sweat. Until Allah makes it easy. Until I have the money, and I pay you back. This is what Aisha's saying. Aisha knows he doesn't have money. Like, just send somebody and ask Yehudi. He just came with some clothing. Until you get some money, you pay him back. فأرسل إليه. So the Prophet sent somebody. فقال اليهودي, the Jew said, قد علمت ما يريد محمد إنما يريد أن يذهب بمالي أو يذهب بهما. He said, I know, only the Prophet just wants to take my money and run. No, he just wants to take my clothes and my money and just run. قبحه الله. فقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم كذب أصلاح قد علم أني من أتقاهم لله. They know I'm the most taqwa, I'm the most righteous. وآداهم للأمانة, and who يؤدي الأمانة, I'm the greatest of them that fulfill their trust. For the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, sometimes he didn't have the clothing that was marih, that was comfortable. It was ghalib, it was thick. وجاء عند النساء هذا حديث آخر قال صلى نبينا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم مرة في خميصة لها أعلام. The Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, he prayed in a material that had shapes and lines and stuff in it. فنظر إلى أعلامها نظرة فلما انصرف. So while he was praying, he looked at his own clothing while he was praying, and he got distracted. فقال اذهبي بخميصتي هذه إلى أبي جهل. Take this cloth, this khamisa. Khamisa is a cloth that has designs in it. Got to take this khamisa and take it to Abu Jahl. Abi Jahl. Wa'tuni bi Anbijaniya Abi Jahl. Anbijaniya is a clear piece of material. It doesn't have lines and figures and things in it like that. A khamisa is a piece of material, has designs and circles and things like that in it. Decoration. He said, take this khamisa, take it to Abu Jahl. Give me Anbijaniya Abi Jahl. Anbijaniya is just a piece of material. It doesn't have these decorations on it. قال فإنها ألهتني آنفا عن صلاتي. It distracted me when I was in the salah. It distracted me while I was in the salah. So these are the kind of clothing that the Prophet wore. The section is a little bit left to it. We're going to move on after this to the khuf and the na'al, to the socks and the shoes of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. اليوم يا إخوة نحن في عمدة الأحكام، ونحن في باب الجديد، باب الجنابة. والجنابة هي حال الذي يوجب الغسل. Janaba is a state of impurity where the Muslim has to take a bath from it to get out of janaba. نعم. والجنابة هذا الغسل يرفع الجنابة. نعم. It raises up of the believer the state of janaba. نعم. فبعد أن ذكر أحكام الطهارة المؤلف الآن بدأ بما يتعلق بالغسل والجنابة. And after he mentioned all the chapters that we took previously was in the bab of tahara, of wudu, and all the other things that are connected to shaving, your pubic hairs, leaving yourself, and how to go to the bathroom, and all that other things, making wudu. Now we get to ghusl janaba. وما يتعلق به. There's asbab, there's reasons that causes somebody to be in janaba. There are reasons that somebody falls into janaba. For ibn, when your son is becoming old to puberty, the man has to tell him these reasons. When your daughter, she's becoming puberty, her mother has to tell her of these reasons and these affairs. They don't necessarily need to know it beforehand, but when they reach puberty, they have to know. So the men deal with the men, and the women deal with the women. الأول الإنزال المجرد بدون علاج. نعم. If somebody ejaculates, sperm comes out, and he never entered into his wife. He never entered her. He just had an ejaculation. He has to make ghusl from her. Like in what? Al-ihtilam. Somebody had a wet dream. Somebody was dreaming and he ejaculated. He has to make ghusl. And this is something that happens to shabab. This happens to young men. So you don't want your son, or your brother's son, getting up just making wudu and going and pray like that. No, you have to make ghusl. So you have to tell him beforehand. أيها الأب. That's your job. And this ihtilam قد يقع للنساء. This can happen also to women. جاء في الصحيح عن سلمة وجاء عن أنس أن سليم. من هو سليم؟ Who's سليم? Who's سلمة? سلمة. سلمة أول زوج النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. Who's her children? سلمة وزينب. نعم. وعمر هكذا قلت عمرو ابن أبي سلمة. من هو عمرو ابن أبي سلمة؟ من يعرفه؟ ربيب النبي. What's the story? لا هذا ثاني. نعم يا ماجد. نعم قال كنت في حجر النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. I was in the house of the Prophet, meaning my mother was married to the Prophet. فكانت يدي تطيش في الصفحة. My hand was going all over the plate. Taken from here, taken from there, eating from there, eating from over here. فقال له رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يا غلام سم الله وكل بيمينك وكل مما يليك. Young boy, say Bismillah when you're going to eat. Eat with your right hand and eat from that which is right in front of you. Don't skip over and go over here and go over there and go over there and run all over the place. Eat from that which is right in front of you. ماذا قال؟ وما زال ذلك ايش قال؟ طعمتي بالكسرة. نعم طعمتي بعد. I'm still eating that way. Since the Prophet told me that back then, this is still the way that I eat. نعم بحافظة على السنة. طيب, that's Salama. Sulaim, ya Abdul Sabur. Who's Sulaim? Sulaim, ya Aba Muawiyah. Anas ibn Malik. Yes, the mother of Anas ibn Malik. Where is she from? Mecca or from Medina? From Medina. What's her name? Sulaim. That's a kunya. What's her name? عندك يا أحمد سليم ما اسمها؟ عندك يا نبيل سليم يا عبد الحميد أين معين؟ نعم أحسنت الرميصاء. The Prophet saw her ahead of him in Jannah. نعم. Her name is Ar-Rumaysa. Who's her husband? لا أبو أنس كفر. أبو أنس died upon كفر. طلحة ابن عبيد الله. نعم. طلحة ابن عبيد الله wanted to marry her. And she said, Allah ta'bud hajar, don't you worship a rock? And he said, yes. She said, enter Islam. And they got married. What was her mahar? What was her dowry? Islam. Agla mahar. His Islam was her mahar. Now, ولها قصة ثانية معه. قالت سليم وعائشة. قالت سليم جاءت إلى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. سليم, she came to the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم. وعائشة عنده. And Aisha was there. فقال يا رسول الله في بعض الروايات إن الله لا يستحيي من الحق. Allah is not embarrassed from the truth. Why is she saying that? She's going to say something that people are embarrassed to say. So she's like, Allah is not embarrassed from the truth. فقالت المرأة ترى ما يرى الرجل في المنام. A woman sees in her sleep when a man sees in his sleep. When she has a wet dream. فترى من نفسها ما يرى الرجل من نفسه. She sees from herself what a man sees from himself. قالت عائشة يا سليم فضحت النساء تربت يمينك. Aisha said, you have embarrassed a woman. You exposed a woman. تربت يمينك. This is a statement. يعني معناه غير مراد. The meaning of it is not what's intended for. تربت يمينك made your right hand be destroyed. But it's just a statement. What's said by it is not the meaning of it. Meaning that she disapproved of what she said. It's a statement of disapproval. So when she said that, تربت يمينك, the Prophet said to Aisha, بل تربت يمينك أنت. May your right hand be destroyed. فقالت نعم. Then he answered Sulaim, who said yes. فلتغتسل يا سليم إذا رأت ذلك. He said yes. If a woman sees that, then she has to take a ghusl. And if she sees water, نعم.
إذا احتلم الرجل أو المرأة كان في يوم من أيام الصوم رمضان
هذا لا يضر. نعم هذا ما يضر. هذا ما هو عمد. That doesn't harm your fast. If somebody's fasting, while they're fasting during the day, he might be sleeping and has ihtilam, or he might sleep, has fajr, and he wakes up and he's junub, from ihtilam. That used to happen to the Prophet. He used to get up and it was fajr and he had to take a ghusl. That doesn't harm your fast. So the first thing that causes janaba is what? Al-mujarrid. ماذا? Al-inzal. That somebody ejaculate just by itself without entering his wife. The second reason, mujarrid al-ila bidun al-inzal. This fact that somebody enters his wife and has relations with his wife, even if he doesn't ejaculate, he has to make ghusl. Even if he doesn't ejaculate, he has to make ghusl. Na'am ya Ammana Muhammad.
إذا الواحد في رمضان صايم ويعني يحدث او نسى يعني شرب مي كذا حسب وانتبه على طول يعني مكان يواصل الصوم حتى لا ادخل لانه استغفر الله يعني يواصل الصوم. انت تشرب الحرب ما يتعرض make mistake.
نعم كل الناس يعرفون هذا يا أمام. نعم كل الناس يعرفون هذا. Everybody knows that. And when you're fasting, نعم, so if you forgot and you ate something and you forgot and you drank something, فيتم صومه فإنما أطعمه الله وأسقاه. Then he continued fasting because only Allah fed him and gave him something to drink. Can somebody make a mistake in Ramadan and have relations with his wife? Could he possibly forget and have relations with his wife? Yes, it's very possible. Very possible. So some people might go, they be up all night, they go to Fajr, he come back after Fajr, he go to sleep, but he wake up it's dark, he forget what time it is. ولكن الله عليم بذات الصدور. Allah knows what's in his chest. So now, if somebody has relations with his wife and he doesn't ejaculate, he still has to make what? He has to make ghusl. Al-Ahkaam dinina. These are the situations that the men and women of Islam fall into. And you have to be able to worship Allah correctly, so you have to make ghusl. نعم. جاء من حديث أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه. تبهوا درس. عندنا درس. عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال إذا جلس بين شعبها الأربع, if it lays between her extremities, her arms and her legs, وجهدها, and he enters in her, فقد وجب الغسل. Ghusl is wajib. Ghusl is wajib. But this wasn't the case in the beginning of Islam. That wasn't the case in the beginning of Islam. In the beginning of Islam, if somebody had relations with his wife and didn't ejaculate at the beginning of Islam, ما كان عليه. That comes in the hadith of Abu Sa'id al-Khudri رضي الله عنه وفي الصحيح. قال خرجت مع رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يوم الاثنين إلى قباء حتى إذا كنا في بني سالم. He said, I went out with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam on Monday to Quba, to this area outside Medina, until we were at the houses or the place of Bani Salam, at these houses of this family. وقف رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم على باب إتبان فصرخ به. The Prophet got to the house of Itban and he called him. He called out to him for him to open the door. فخرج يجر إزاره. He came out, but he was dragging his izar. Meanwhile, he was inside, he was undressed. He came out and he's dragging his izar like he's getting dressed. فخرج يجر إزاره فقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أعجلنا الرجل. We rushed the man. We hastened him. We rushed him. When he was having relations with his wife, I called him and he stopped. Then he hears the Prophet's voice. He stopped. فقال إتبان يا رسول الله أرأيت الرجل يعجل عن امرأته ولم يمني فما ذلك. So the man said, "Oh, Messenger of Allah, tell me about a man. He was rushed from his wife. And he was rushed from his wife and he didn't ejaculate. He was rushed. He didn't ejaculate. What's on him?" The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam قال إنما الماء من الماء ما معنى هذا يا علي؟ إنما الماء من الماء. Really, the water is only because of the water. What does that mean? The water is because of the water. عندك يا علي. ما معنى الماء من الماء؟ نعم يا نبي. نعم. إنما الماء من الماء. The ma from the ghusl, from washing, is only because of the ma of sperm. The water for ghusl is only because of the water, that's from sperm. That was before, that was at the beginning of Islam. That was at the beginning of Islam. But the water that you use for ghusl is only because of the water. It happens when you have relations. That was at the beginning. Thumma, what abrogated that rule? إذا جلس بين شعبها الأربع ثم جهدها فقد وجب الغسل. After that, this hadith, the Prophet said, if he sat between her extremities and he had relations with her, and كيف يا عمالي ما فهمنا. طيب ثم the third reason is inzal ma'al ilaj. Of course, if somebody enters his wife and he ejaculates, then he has to make ghusl. باقي أمر يا إخوة في النوم. The person who's sleeping, هذا سؤال عندكم. The person who's sleeping, he wakes up and in his underwears and his underclothing, he sees balal, he sees water, he sees sperm, but he doesn't remember having a dream. Does he have to make fajr? He gets up before fajr, he sees that, he sees balal, he sees wetness in his underclothing, but he doesn't remember having a dream. Does he have to make ghusl? No, alayhi ghusl. So what about somebody? There's no water on him, there's no sperm in his clothes or anything, but he remembers having a dream. No, it doesn't happen. What about somebody who remembers having a dream and he sees balal, that is moist, he has to make ghusl. وهذا كلها سئل عنه رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم كما جاء في الحديث عن الترمذي قالت عائشة سئل رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم عن الرجل يجد البلل ولا يذكر الاحتلام. The Prophet was asked about a man, he found in his clothing moisture, wetness, but he doesn't remember having a dream. قال يغتسل. I said he had to make a ghusl. وعن الرجل يرى أنه قد احتلم لم يجد بللا. A man, he remembers that he had a dream, but he doesn't see any wetness in his clothing. قال لا غسل عليه. Prophet said لا غسل عليه. نعم. نعم لكن المذي ماذا يلزم؟ المذي, what do you have to do if madhi occurs? You have to wash it off. And madhi is what comes out when somebody is sexually excited. Now, it's not sperm. Sperm comes out with tadaffuq, comes out with force. Now, but maybe that's what comes out before sperm. Somebody's sexually excited. Now, this is najis. This is najis. If this comes out, then you have to clean your private part. You have to clean your underwears and make wudu. You just have to make wudu for maybe.
لكن إذا نام ولم يدخل الفيلم لكن قام يفرق هنا بين المني والمذي؟
لا، إذا هو عنده إشكال مع المذي يعني هو مذاء. تعرف من الصحابة من كان مذاء؟ علي. نعم. Right. So it normally doesn't happen when somebody sleeps. It doesn't happen when somebody sleeps. So if somebody wakes up and he sees Bella, what's he going to think? Oh, maybe this is this madhi. No. But, right. So it depends. But if he wakes up and he sees Bella, he's going to take a ghusl. When he wakes up and he sees wetness in his clothing, he's going to take a ghusl. هذا درسنا اليوم نكتفي بهذا. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك. نعم. عبد الحميد. Ahsan, barakallahu fiqh. If somebody he's taking a ghusl for janaba, what about al-jum'ah? Yanwi al-amrain. When he makes his niyyah, this is for raf' al-janaba and it's for jum'ah. He doesn't have to take two ghusls. He doesn't have to take two ghusls. طيب barakallahu fiqh. متى واحد يغتسل للجمعة? Is it permissible to take a ghusl for الجمعة before Fajr? لا يجوز. بعد الفجر. الغسل في يوم الجمعة has to be after فجر.
هكذا الإيضاح بارك الله.
نعم.
أغلب الناس يعني يغتسل قبل الفجر وأعتقد
لا has to be after فجر على الصحيح. نعم. طيب يا أخوة.
عم الفائدة.
سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت